This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
When buying or selling your home, call Leo Bato. He has years of experience in real estate, showing honesty and integrity in every transaction. He's a person you can definitely trust. So book your appointment with Leo Bato today by giving him a call at 818-648-4837 or by visiting him on the web at www.leobato.realtor.
This episode is brought to you by ABA E-Services.
The podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, live at Paco's Place, a big round of applause. My good friend from Inspire Studios, siyang ating big boss, Mr. Francis Lara Ho.
Wow. Thank you. Malaking honor ito to be here.
You know, thank you for driving all the way more than 40 miles away. I really appreciate you. Ano sabi ni Mrs.?
Sabi niya, ba't ka pupunta doon? Sabi ko kasi maganda yung ano niya eh. Maganda yung setup niya. Gusto ko makita. Oh.
Hindi ka ba nabigo?
Hindi naman talaga. Really. Natempt nga ako. Gusto ko ang picturean eh.
Diba? Bakit hindi? I mean, go ahead. And you know what? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here, spending the time.
Yeah.
It's nice the way we met, no, and we're collaborating on a project as of this video. Pero ang nakakatuwa is I am more interested in you, the name of your company, and why you did it. And I'll set it up. Kaya namin ginawa ang Paco's Place is because we want to inspire and inform people who are on the fence that sila ang makakapagpagawa ng pangarap nila para maging totoo.
That's right.
Agree, disagree?
Agree. Absolutely.
So yun ang hihimayin ko sa iyo ngayon. And kanina tinanong mo anong pag-uusapan. So sabi namin ni JJ, ano ang
hindi pwede.
ano ang hindi pwedeng pag-usapan, di ba? Because I really want to know. I really want to know why you're doing what you're doing. You're in the States. You're a Filipino. You're producing films. Why?
Well, you know, my own life was changed by film. You know, I came to the United States because of a film that I watched.
Anong film to?
Pagtatawanan mo pag nalaman mo.
Bagets.
This is actually a TV series. Title niya is Anne of Green Gables.
Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah.
Pinanood mo yun sa Pilipinas?
No, I watched it when I was in China. At that time, I was working in China. And, you know, my wife and I were at a crossroad. Babalik ba tayo sa Pilipinas or we go somewhere else?
Anong part ng China, Francis?
We were at the southwest part of China. So we were...
Kabila ng Wuhan. Opposite
malapit sa Wuhan.
Malapit sa Wuhan.
Basically, where the pandas are.
Yeah.
So, it's yung maanghang na pagkain sa Sichuan. We were there. So we lived there. We studied there. We worked there.
As what?
Basically, we were learning the language, and then we were helping with, you know, underground, like rural hospitals.
So you as a healthcare
worker. Yeah.
So marunong ka mag-Chinese.
Marunong tayo mag-Chinese.
So paano mo sasabihin, welcome to Paco's Place in Chinese?
Oh, wow. Huaning Tajia.
Xie.
What I just said is basically welcome everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice. So how long were you there in China?
We were there for 4 years.
So kayong dalawa lang ni Mrs. Walang kids?
That was the first 4 years of our marriage.
Okay, so now, umabot na ng 4th year, pinanood mo yung Anne from ano yun?
Anne of Green Gables.
Anne of Green Gables. So ano yung pumasok sa isip mo while watching that?
Anne at that time was experiencing a crossroad in her life, and so naka-identify ako. I was also in a crossroad, and so from that TV series, basically it ended up her pursuing her dream, and parang the movie spoke to me that what's your dream? So you're at a crossroad, okay? Going back to the Philippines or going somewhere else? What will serve? Which way will help you towards getting your dream?
Okay. Healthcare provider. Nurse, doctor.
Nurse.
That wasn't a dream.
That wasn't a dream. That was in obedience to my dad.
Okay. Wow. Makinig kayong lahat dahil ito yung mga tanong. So, that wasn't a dream. Obedience to dad. Obedience fulfilled. Given up 4 years plus 4 years going to school. So, 8 years. Crossroad. Anong conversation yun ni Mrs.? Were you, sinabi mo ba kay Mrs. na, yan, that spoke to me? Or were you threading eggshells? Hindi mo alam kung paano mo sasabihin kay Mrs. na...
She actually knew. She knows that I'm seeking, I'm thinking, I'm considering all my options. But what helped me a lot is she said, wherever you go, I'll go with you.
How important is it to have a wife
Oh,
who hindi ko sinasabing obedient, but supportive?
yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the other day I posted in Facebook, sabi ko, excuse me, it's one thing to have a supportive wife. It's quite another level if she actually works hard with you to fulfilling your dream. That's a big difference, because you could have a partner that says, okay, I'll go with you, but passive, but someone who not only will go with you, but is actually working with you towards getting to the dream.
Ito, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, ha? Ano naman ang dream ng asawa mo?
That is really interesting, because her dream was already being there in China. She did not want to leave China. But because she knows what's important to me on my dream, she's already living her dream, being in China. But she knew that something in me is crying, it's something is lacking. And so she said, God has called us together, so I'll go with you and I'll help you, fulfill your dream. So she overcame quite a bit. In fact, when we came to America, if I tell you the story.
Tell me the story. That's why you're here.
I mean, I came here as a student.
Okay.
So
F1.
F1.
Uh-huh.
So Shia is a dependent.
F4.
Uh-huh. And so, we were supported by a lot of friends and family from the Philippines. Basically, we came here and didn't have much. And, she has to actually volunteer work in order for us to help, both ends meet. So basically, may mga nagla-love gifts sa kanya, mga ganon. And for me, I wasn't going to school and I could not work outside school because that's the limitation of the visa. But what I did is I would actually collect, tin cans and empty bottles.
Oh, recycling.
Recycling.
Oh my God.
I will collect that and sell it to Ralph's or Stater Brothers so I can buy flowers for my wife.
Galing. So you honored your wife.
I honored her because she made so much sacrifice when she was literally leaving her dream behind in China.
Of course.
To come here with me to pursue my dream.
Kasi, habang nagkikwento ka, bumabaliktad sa isip ko, what if one day she wakes up and tells you, it's time to pursue my dream because I'm at a crossroad. Ang tanong dun is, paano mo ita-take yung part na yun? Did it ever occur to you? Tinanong mo na ba sa sarili mo yun? What if tanungin ka ng asawa mo?
Yeah.
Francis, honey baby, medyo time's up na tayo. Ako naman.
Yeah. What's interesting is because of our faith in God, we are really a kindred spirit. Kaming dalawa. 10 years ko siyang pinursu.
Amen.
Okay. And so right now, when we talk about dreams, our dreams are aligned.
Right.
So she might be in a different industry, but our overall dream, our overarching dream, mission and vision in life is the same.
So ano nga ang dream niya?
Really her dream is to have a...
Umayos ka, she's watching.
I know. Her dream really... she has so many dreams that I want to pick really is the pinaka-overarching dream niya. Really, ang dream niya talaga is to make an impact in people's lives. And she really is... And she's doing that right now, but she also wants to do something bigger and greater than that. In fact, our biggest dream when we go back to the Philippines in a few years is basically, establish a mission hospital where the poor people can be there. That money hindi hadlang for you to be able to get quality care, world class care. Because she was an excellent nurse when she was working
In China.
Here,
Even here
in America.
Okay.
She was so good that when she left her job, the hospital has to hire 4 people to replace her to do the one job she's doing.
Grabe.
So that's her passion. She really would like to make an impact, taking care of people's physical health at the same time, yung spiritual health nila. So a holistic kind of a thing. And right now she's an investment advisor, and she's even adding to that, dimension, total care of the person. And so yun ang, one of these days, that's her dream, but one of her, dream for herself is to build a castle by the beach.
Ang sarap naman. Si Tony Robbins may castle by the beach. Ha? Pero okay, yung sinasabi mong overarching dream, mission, ginagawa nyo na with Inspire Studios eh. Kasi yung binild mong yun, and naiintindihan ko why she can support you is because that will touch people's lives eh. That in itself, that in itself will touch people's lives yung ginagawa mo. Balikan natin, minention mo yung wife mo is an investment advisor. So pagdating mo rito as an F1 student, what did you do?
So basically, I went to pursue my master's. It's actually a seminary degree, but it's a master's. It's not like a theological degree. It's a leadership degree.
Right. Sa Bayola?
Bayola University at Talbot School of Theology.
Yes.
So basically, it was a master in Christian leadership.
Yes.
Okay, so I did that. And then I did that for 3 years. And then after that, we basically did 3 years of my PhD studies. I put that on hold to build business. Kasi we thought that, the best way to support ourselves is to actually build a business.
Which is good. Can you, let's stress that to the audience. In other words, entrepreneurship ang pinasok mo.
Yes.
And the conversation in the bedroom is, we can't be workers. Ganun ba yung dating ng, how is the conversation like in the bedroom? And couples have these conversations, right? So,
the conversation really in the bedroom is not, we can't be workers, but how can we have a greater impact with our lives?
So
Yan yung conversation.
Yun talaga yung goal mo ever since bata ka.
Both of us, really. Actually,
how to make a difference.
It's not nung bata pa, but we were trained. Her grandfather, my grandfather were both business people. So we grew up with that environment. So nasa mindset na yon. Nasa isip na yon. When we came here, we knew that we're not gonna work for someone else for the rest of our lives. My grandfather, who's from China, my father's side, tells me, work for 2 years, and after that, you learn the system, start your own. And sabi niya, Iho, never ever let someone else become wealthy off of your own hard work.
Narinig mo yun, Jonathan Buen Camino? Diba? Sobrang nating pinayaman yun, diba?
Totoo yan. Kaya when I was here, when she was here, when we were working nurses, as nurses, we're making great money. Like 6 figures and 6 figure ako. But we were never settled. We were never satisfied.
I digress. Ano kaya talaga ko si Francis, no? Talagang pinangalan sa kanya, E. Kasi last name niya Ho, di ba? Sabi ng grandfather mo, Iho. Yung ba nickname mo? Iho. Anyway. Kanina ko pa rin sinabi. Sabi ng grandfather ko, Iho. O yung ba nickname niya? Iho. Okay, anyway.
Tama.
So now, so you had entrepreneurship on both sides of the family.
Yes.
But your dad wanted me
to be a nurse kasi sabi niya that's the easiest way to go to the United States. Because what's funny though is he came here in the 70s. He lasted for 3 months. Why? Because sabi niya, ayaw ko maglaba, ayaw ko magluto, ayaw ko maghugas ng kotse ko. So he went back to the Philippines and started businesses all over
So
again.
business din siya.
He's a businessman. He's a politician businessman.
Pero ikaw, ang cute ng daddy mo because hindi niya naisip na pagnegosyohin ka. Ang ginawa niya sa'yo is magbanat ka na muna ng butot to see the difference of being your own boss and working for someone else. That's how I'm seeing it.
In fact, when I was doing my master's, sabi ng isa sa mga professor ko, I was a teaching assistant, right, to make money
Yes,
inside
yes.
school. Sabi niya, Francis, have you ever considered business? Sabi ko, why did you ask that, Prof? Sabi, hey, because you, when we talk, you're so keen on money. And you are selling, actually I was selling cars to second-hand cars while I was in...
Really? Sa Lamirada?
Yeah, Lamirada. I would buy for 1,500, fix it up and sell it for 3,000, right? So, sabi niya, so you're doing that. You have the appetite for it. You have the training for it. Your grandfather trained you. Why have you not considered it? And I said, well, I think about it. And so I continued to go, continued with my studies and did not really entertain it until when I graduated. And I mean, graduated from my master's and did my PhD. And then, and I felt so dissatisfied as a nurse. I was going there because I'm making a difference because I was an ICU nurse.
Oh, man.
So literally there were nights that I would bring someone back to life. You CPR them and those things.
Yes.
But outside that, I wasn't really motivated. It was a struggle for me every day. Sabi ng wife ko, I think you have a midlife crisis. Because I was literally dragging my feet to work.
Where was work nung time na to?
Work was Whittier Hospital.
Okay, Whittier Hospital.
Yes.
Oh my God! Now, nung time naman na pumasok ka sa business, you also went into investment.
I was a financial advisor, yes.
Financial advisor, okay.
Yes. And so what I like with that is because it was a very, when it was presented to me, right there and then, I got it. I said, this is what my grandfather is talking about. You can own your own business, build your own business for your family, not for someone else. And so when I saw that, I said, I'm in. So I was trained by...
How long did you do it?
I did it for 8 years.
Wow.
And then we went back to the Philippines. I retired my wife from that business. We went back to the Philippines in Palawan, started our businesses there, charity work. And then...
How long were you in Palawan?
2 years.
Okay.
And I was going back and forth here because of that business and because of the filmmaking. And my family was there. So literally every month I was flying. So I would stay for 10 days here, 20 days in Palawan, 10 days in LA, 20 days. I did that for 2 years.
Grabe.
But it was
Pero
great.
teka, wala mo ng filmmaking kasi nasa ano pa tayo, financial advisory stuff pa lang tayo.
Tama, yeah. The filmmaking came on the second year when we were in Palawan. First year, wala pa.
Bakit filmmaking?
Going back to that question, kasi nga, first of all, it impacted my life. I knew that, many decisions in my own life were impacted by the movies that I watched. Braveheart, Amazing Grace, Anne of Green Gables, those inspirational, powerful
Sorry,
movies.
are you a movie buff?
I am, but...
Hanggang ngayon?
Yes, but I'm very selective. I only watch movies that would fire my spirit up. I consider...
Braveheart, no? Braveheart talagang
those
galing.
types of movies. I feel like it's a waste of time if I'm watching something for entertainment. For me, it is entertainment beyond enjoyment. It has to be something of...
May substance. Oh.
Yeah, empowers you
Yes.
to do something bigger and greater
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
Hence, Inspire Studios is the name of the studios.
Yun, naisip mo na yun, matagal na rin.
Hindi, actually.
Okay. Eto. Ngayon, second year mo as a financial advisor, naisip mong gagawa ka ng pelikula.
No, this is my 9th year.
As a financial advisor?
Yes, second year of going back and forth Philippines and
Right.
the US.
Because after 8 years, nag-back and forth ka.
Yes.
So, 8 years as a financial advisor, did you find fulfillment or was it like you being a nurse in China?
I did find fulfillment. In fact, not only did I find fulfillment in it because it's not the job of being a financial advisor, but it's the joy of being an entrepreneur. and making an impact at the same time. So, you're building your own business and you're making an impact.
Tinutulungan mo yung ibang tao.
Yes, because I have people, people who, because of what I did with their finances, changed their lives, changed their legacy.
Yes.
Literally, people, all over the place. So that's what gave me fulfillment. However, filmmaking came in not only because I was being changed by the movies that I watched, but also remember the overarching mission and vision. How can we create more impact?
Yes.
And so that's when I saw that filmmaking will scale the impact that I'm
More
making.
eyeballs yun eh.
Yeah, the impact that I'm making in film, in finance industry, in filmmaking. It's a greater platform, and more people will be impacted. More people will be inspired, and what triggered that really is Memorial Day, May of 2018. My son and I was just thinking, the twins. I said, how can I teach them heroism? What is a hero? And then at that time we were living in Puerto Princesa, there's a camp there that, where 150 Americans were burned alive by the Japanese during World War II. 139 died, 11 survived. So I took my son and my daughter, I believe, at that time there, and I told them, this is what a hero looks like. And it dawned on me that when I went home, no one knows this story. No one is telling this story. And so I started thinking about that, and then I came back here. When I came back here, I called up my friend, and I said, hey, you are in the film industry, and I am interested, and I'd like to explore this. And so that got
Ano
me
sabi
started.
niya sa'yo nung sinabi mo yon?
Sabi niya, Francis,
Hindi ka niya pinigilan?
hindi. Sabi niya, that story is very powerful. I'd like for you to meet my friends, and they are in the industry. So that's, Hollywood kasi is a very exclusive place.
Yeah, you're not a Jew.
I'm an Oriental Jew. I'm Chinese. But there's two ways to get into Hollywood, and both starts with F. Friends or finances. You either have to have so much money and the gates will be open, or you have to be connected. You have to
Right.
be invited. And so this gave me the opportunity. So I was introduced with people inside the industry.
So you were still doing financing or business sa Pilipinas nung time na to? Business sa Pilipinas.
Yes. But I'm slowly turning it over na. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know already that this is the direction.
So now, itong nakilala mo na ang mga tao sa Hollywood. Did it excite you or did it scare you or both?
This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
So yun nga, yung question. Nung kausap mo to ng mga taong to, were you, after that conversation, were you, here, take my money? Or were you, oh my God, I might lose money? Or were you both?
Actually, after talking to them, I was so fired up.
Ito I'm gonna burst your bubble because I've been in show business, pero Pinoy style, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world, right?
Yeah.
Here you are, a newbie, with all these aspirations. So para kang para kang tuta na pinasok sa mga wolves eh.
Yes,
Ganun yung dating, right? At the same time, you know how that is, di ba? So, but you're not dumb. You're a smart guy. So when you were going in, how was your discernment meter?
Well, when I heard after that meeting with them, I actually went into 2 weeks of basically prayers and talking to my wife,
Right.
and did some reading, being a man of faith. I read the Bible a lot. So from that meeting in Hollywood, I went back to Palawan, and for 2 weeks, every morning at 4 o'clock, my I'm awakened by the vision. I was awakened by the passion. And I was asking God at that time. I said, is this just pure emotion excitement, or is this really you waking me up in the morning so I can spend time with you and seek your direction? And at the end of that experience, it was both. I am that excited, but at the same time, God is calling me, waking me up, because each morning at that time, it was a very fulfilling time of just communing with God in prayer and getting guidance from the Bible. And so I went in. I knew that it would be a learning curve. I know that because I have no background. Unlike you studied. I don't have. All I have is a big heart, a big dream, but I'm not a brand new businessman.
Yeah, yes.
I know when his deal is great and when deal is not great. But this is quite interesting, Paco, that you asked this question, because recently I've been thinking about this. Because when you are developing movies, and this, you will have people who will say yes to you. I believe in you. I'll join you. I'll partner with you. And you will have people who will say, you know what, I'm going to wait until you prove yourself and then I'll join you. The irony with that is many of those folks who said, I'm going to wait, are the same people who would not have been successful where they are right now if they did not take that kind of risk before.
Yeah. Yes. Oo nga, no? Ang ganda nung... Yeah.
And so I said, the irony of this is that's why there are people who they became big and will continue to be bigger and bigger. Why is there only very few Elon Musk? Why are there only very few Steve Jobs?
Alam mo yung story ni Elon, di ba?
Yes.
Down to the last rocket and last cash.
Yeah.
After that, baka sa Compton mo napulutin si Elon Musk kung hindi lumanding ng tama yung rocket na yon, di ba?
Yeah. So, because these guys are not risk averse.
Yeah.
Right? They calculate the risk, but they take it to the next level.
Are you that type of person?
I am that type of person. And I told my wife, I don't have a lot of gifts, but I've been blessed with a big faith.
Alam mo, thank you for saying that, because sasabihin ko sana sa'yo, maybe it's that faith that you have that allows you to take more risks.
Yeah, and I'm like that. Coming to America is a big risk.
Right.
Going back to the Philippines after China would have been safer.
Uh-huh.
Coming to America, we almost did not know anyone here. It's just me and my wife. I mean, 2 weeks in the seminary school, we still don't have an apartment. We don't have a car. We were given a car and got it from East Coast to West Coast, drove it.
I know.
And it died when we reached the West Coast. So I am that type of person. And when we came here, we have bigger dreams. And that's the kind, and I believe, not only because I'm pursuing that direction, but when you study history, those are the kinds of people who makes a huge difference. Who are
movers and shakers.
Who are turning history, making history, because they're not afraid.
Willing to give it all.
Yes.
Up.
Yes. So yun ang that's the heart of it. That's why I am where I am.
But if you lost everything today, would it stop you from pursuing your dream?
No, because you only fail if you don't learn from your mistakes.
I hope people caught that, because totoo yun.
Yeah. I mean, there is no such thing as failure in this life. You only fail when you decide, I will quit. I tell this all the time to the people that I mentor. When you say, I'll do this and I will never quit, I tell them, you're guaranteed success.
Totoo yun.
The moment you decide you will never quit on whatever career or endeavor you're looking for, working on, you're guaranteed success. It's just a matter of you growing now and becoming that kind of person that's needed to make that dream come true. But it starts with saying, I will not quit.
Yung initial decision and commitment.
Initial decision, that's the turnaround there. And, for me, I mean, I have yet to prove myself in the film industry, but there are great things that's happening in my projects right now. And even if tomorrow I lose everything, I will continue on, because looking back in my own life, that's how great things happen. But it's not only because I am a big risk taker. It's not about that. I just believe that everything in life has a purpose. Nothing happens to you by accident. It's by design.
Right.
And because of that faith in God, I believe that everything is laid out. I mean, some friends would even call me out. They said, invoking God in your businesses is quite risky. I said, I'm not invoking him actually. I'm actually just joining him.
Amen.
Because this is his plan. I'm just laying out and applying what he has already designed. This is not my project. This is his project. And every night, not every night, almost every night, I read books. My wife and I would read books to our kids. And these are like the 50 girls who changed the world, the 50 boys who changed the world. And last night, I was just reading a story of a British girl who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. Right? And if I remember it correctly, the things that she wrote before, lahat pumaltas, everything failed until she wrote that one. And one publisher decided after 30 something rejections. Hopefully I did not mix up, because I read 2 stories. But nonetheless, the moral of the time there is that all those failures, because she did not quit, eventually paid off and became a bestseller. And to be honest with you, my daughter said, Papa, can you read one more, please? Read one more, please. And I was reading it to inspire them. But guess what? Who got inspired more? Me. Because my prayer after that time is, Lord, here am I, facing all these giants in the film industry, because I'm brand new. I did not study, I'm a newbie. And yet I never thought of quitting. And yet I know it's not an easy journey. But the book that I just read just reminded me of, hey, the entire thing is my project, because that's what literally she said. I'm not worried about those publishers, because this is God's story I'm writing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whoever you are, kahit sino ka man, whatever dream God has given you, never quit. Because there's only you who can fulfill that. You have a special purpose.
Ang galing.
You have a special reason. No one else can do that.
Alam mo, puti lang sinabi mo yun, because I read something just minutes before the podcast, bago tayo nakita sa gazebo. If there's one person who can change your life, it's you. And then yun ang sinabi mo lang sa audience ngayon. Parang, oh my God, ginu-goosebumps ako. Validation. Now, let's talk about rejection. Okay, before we move forward with Inspire Studios.
Yeah.
Yun ang excuse ng common tao.
Yeah.
The fear of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And you've experienced that. Yung mga risk takers mong, nung sinabi mo, I want to start this, game sila sa'yo. And then yung mga tao nagsabi, you know what, I'll wait. Di pa ako ready ngayon. You've experienced that dito sa endeavor mo na to. Nasa financial industry ka. You've experienced that so many times.
Big time.
You probably get, anong ratio mo? Every 10, ilan ang ano?
I'm about 8 out of 10.
Ang rejection?
No. Ang closing ko nung huli na.
So,
pero nung nag-umpisa ako, 3 out of 10.
Anong dinadangil mo sa mukha nila para napapahindel? Okay lang. So ang 30% lang ikaw nung una and then you
When I
ended up-
started, yeah.
and then naging 80%. How do you close that gap?
Because
Let's talk about the rejection muna bago tayo pumunta
rejection,
sa
sige.
bago ka napunta sa 80% close ratio. Anong feeling coming out of your part-time job going into business, saying na, you know what, I got this. Nung pinasentan ka with this business opportunity, I got this. Tapos 30% ang close ratio mo. Tell us about those long nights because they were long nights.
There were long nights.
Yung nakaplastado, yung ngiti mo na may dala ka portfolio, nakaganon ka na, pinubuksan mo palang binabara ka na.
Yeah, tama.
Okay.
Well, you know, there were 10 nurses of us friends. We all came to the company together. 10 kami.
Wow.
Okay? And we all experienced early success,
Of course.
right? But there was a time that we cannot get no appointment. We get so much rejection.
When did you join in?
I joined in 2011.
Okay, so pretty much just barely after the recession.
Yes.
Okay.
So yung Siam, bumalik sa nursing.
It's safe.
Yep.
Sigurado pera dun eh.
Yeah, you're making money, 650 a night, right?
Yeah.
Naisip ko, sabi ko, if Steve Jobs was in my place, would he think of going back to selling computers for someone else because the computer that he created is not selling? Will Bill Gates do that? Will Donald Trump stop selling real estate? I don't think that's what they will do. Guess what? I'm not going to go with those 9 folks. I will keep pushing forward, improve myself, become better, and grow. And guess what? Hindi ako nagkamali.
And you know what? Kaya ako nakangiti sa'yo dahil yun lang ang in-advise mo sa kanila kanina sa audience eh. If you decide na gagawin mo yun, it's only a matter of time before everything comes to fruition.
Yes.
Okay, so so now may internal decision ka na okay, gagawin ko to. But tell us, how bad was it while you were walking? Because of course, self-doubt is real, right? That's a daily struggle eh, lalaban mo. Not everybody has the same faith you and I have.
Yeah. Totoo yan.
So how do you battle self-doubt?
I don't know if this was gonna come off really, good, but I really never really struggled, about doubting that I can do it. I never really had that struggle. I've always been confident. My problem is overconfidence. That's on the other side of the pendulum.
Alam mo, makakarelate ako kay Francis eh. Alam mo, sorry ha. Ito kailangan ko lang i-share, kaya ako makakarelate. Intro voice, tumutugtog kami sa Merinol. And then every year, lalapitan kami, bago kami, nakasarado yung kortina, lalapitan kami ng estudyante, sasabihin sa amin, Paco, what do you want to promote? What's up with Intro Voice? And then sasabihin ko, we're coming up with an album. And then si Jonathan, bubulungan ako, sabihin ni Jonathan, pwede ba wag mo nang sabihin yan? Bakit? 5 taon na natin sinasabi na maglalabas tayo ng album this year. Wala pang album na lumalabas. So gano'n. Same thing with you. Kaya na-share ko lang yun.
Yeah. So, my struggle hasn't been really, doubting that I can do it, that I will make it. Because because my perspective is, this is not just about me. This is not about what I can prove. But this is something that is already planned out by, God in His providence. And I'm just walking into that destiny. If I don't do it, then it will not happen. But, where there's struggles of, along the way, absolutely. There's a lot. I mean,
how do you what advice, since you've mentored people, what would you tell them? Especially people who are agnostic, people who are atheists, di ba?
It would be a tough place. I mean, because you'll end up to on a limited reserve. If you're someone who do not believe in God, it will be tougher for you because life was never meant to be lived on your own. Okay, it doesn't mean that if you don't believe in God, you would not succeed. I don't mean that at all. You can still succeed, but I will tell you that you'll be paying twice effort and emotion and energy as with someone who knows how to leverage someone who is much bigger than the circumstance. It's just that's why people who you can look at nations. Why do you think in some places, some countries, suicide is prevalent? Alcohol
like
is
Japan, di ba?
alcohol is a big problem. It's because there will come a point in your life that you can only take so much.
Yun yung reserve na sinasabi mo.
Yes.
Kung nakakapit ka sa Panginoon, ang laki ng okay.
Yeah.
Mas mahaba ang milyahe ng reserve mo.
Like the song Lean on Me. You have
Yes.
someone to lean on. Some people may not believe that he really exists, but hey, look at my life and look at the life of my wife and many other big people are making a difference. There is a strong pillar that they're leaning on. And it's just the reality. It's that's how you were designed. That's how you were created.
Ikaw naman, binanggit mo yung lean on me. Napaisip tuloy ako din. Yung conversation natin, baka may church na ginagamit yun.
Tama.
Endless love, di ba?
Yeah, tawa. Na-remember ko ngayon. Yung isang gabi, pinag-usapan namin. Tawa ko ng tawa ni Pearl.
Oh my God. Okay. I get that part. Now, let's talk Inspire Studios. Okay? Because sinet up ko lang for everybody because everybody needs to see your context. Not everybody can do this. You have to be grounded. Are you a person who is consistent? Would you say you're a consistent type of guy?
Yes.
Napaisip ka ron, ha?
Yes, kasi there are areas in my life that I'm not consistent.
I want to hear that part.
Okay.
So, hindi ka perfect. Okay, good.
Yes.
So,
I'm not consistently not eating rice. Nanakaw ako sa rice.
Talo kita ron, ha?
Yun. So, kaya sabi ko, ano kaya?
Sa pagtatapon ng basura.
Consistent ako dyan. Okay? I'm not consistent in being, chill lang when the kids are really messy.
So, old school ka.
Yes, my wife and I are both disciplinarians. So, but the fundamentals in life, the bigger core in life, that what will make you win. That's where I am consistent.
Routines.
Yeah. So.
Are routines important?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Very important. When it's about winning, I am consistent with that. So.
Can you share? I wanna pick your brains out dun sa part na yun. Ang ganda na sinabi mo, when it comes to winning, I am consistent. Mm-hmm. Break it down for me.
Mindset. A lot of people, I always tell this, wealth is first a mindset before it becomes an asset. So
Mindset before asset.
Yung wealth ng tao, it's first here before here. Utak muna bago bulsa. Okay? That's what most people are meaning.
Essence before existence.
Yeah. So consistency for me is really in the consistency of how I think and how I deal with problems and challenges. Okay? Doon ang naging ano. But consistency does not happen overnight. You have to grow into it. Right?
So may challenges din yun,
May
diba?
challenges din yun. And sometimes you fall. Sometimes you make something that's inconsistent to what you believe.
Are you hard on yourself when you fall?
I am.
Or do you just do this and then tayo na?
I have stages.
Okay, explain.
So pag halimbawa, I cannot close a deal, okay? When I drive back home, I ask myself, what could I have done different? I'm hard in a sense that I don't accept that, well, there are just some things that you cannot achieve. I don't believe in that.
Kapag gusto may paraan.
Yeah. If you came more prepared, if you have studied better the other person, if you have learned because at the end of the day,
Ang galing,
it's either you close.
You be closed or you close.
Yeah,
diba?
You eat someone's
ABC,
lunch
yeah.
or someone
Oh,
eats
it's
your
your
lunch. It's like that. So because of that, I'm hard on myself because next time I don't want that to happen to me. I want it to be me eating someone else's lunch.
Pero ang galing kasi is this your journey from 30% close rate to 80% close rate?
Yes. So what financial services did to me is it actually trained me kasi yung character for you to become a successful person. I mean, again, I still have to prove that in the film industry. But what I noticed in the finance industry is the character started when I was, growing up in my own spiritual journey. Doon nagumpisa yung character. That's foundation. Okay?
Importante yun,
Yeah,
right?
Okay. Pero yung skills tsaka yung mindset of being a businessman, entrepreneur, yun ang binigay sa akin ng training ng financial services. So when they come together now, you can do something bigger and greater with that. Because now you have both the skill and you have the character. So you can go out. That's why I was confident that yes, initially I'll get setbacks as a filmmaker. But I tell you, if I can transfer my brain to you right now in an SD card, you would be so like, what?
Try me.
Ganun ka excitement. Ganun ka excited na I wake up in the morning. Do I see everything that I dream of right now? No. But man, I go back inside and I say, man, Lord, this is so great to wake up right now because I can see it already. A classic example, my third movie that I'm developing. What's amazing with that is the writer. The screenwriter is the screenwriter of Crouching Tiger, the screenwriter of The Shack, 100 million in revenue, the screenwriter of Marco Polo, 200 million, Netflix program, Young Guns, Highwayman. He's an A-list writer. How did I get him?
How?
Simple. I was just confident. And with the grace of God, I was confident in telling him. I told him, pangalan niya John. I told him, John, I don't know if I can afford your regular quote. But we work together, we can change the world. And so I told him, here's the book. He read it. Sabi niya, Francis, there are materials. This is after he read the book. There are materials that need to be in the right hands. This is one of them. It's my calling to write a screenplay for you.
Sinabi ni John yun.
Yan ang words niya mismo, verbatim. It's my calling. He even sent me a text in Thanksgiving how grateful he is that we are working up. This is an A-list writer. This is not like... But think of it, Paco. I have no background in film industry. I barely know someone in Hollywood. How did I get from knowing someone to getting an A-list writer? And now, once he's finished the script, I can only imagine the number of distributors who would want to work with that project. Because not only of the A-list writer, but because of the power of that book. So I think about those things when I wake up. Were they true before that? No. Did it change my heart? Did it change my mind? No. Why? Because I know I'm just doing something that was already prepared for me. I'm just walking into it. I'm just walking into it. And now, if I tell you what's going on, I mean, there's this Oscar winner director and I cannot tell his name.
Tawagin na lang natin siyang Oscar.
Can you imagine, Mr. Oscar winner director? I can call him anytime, and for we have 3 to 4 times already conversation, talking about how he can help us make our dream a reality. How did that happen? You know, all those things. But those things, Paco, will not happen if you are not the right person at the right time.
Oo nga.
You really, really have to be ready. So that's why you decide this is it for me, and then you grow. Just keep growing because you attract who you are.
Maganda yung sinabi mo. Now, when you move forward and make a decision na I'm moving forward, what do you do with the past?
This episode is brought to you by ABBA e-Services.
So itong mga daan na to na sinasabi mo, manifested itself talking to this Oscar-winning director. Does this all come together to make who you are and to set up what Inspire Studios is all about?
Actually, not to make me who I am, but I would say more because who I am is already really is being built by by my own experience with God, with my wife, with friends like you, people. So what's happening to me now is not making me. They are contributing towards making the dream come true.
So now, okay, the dream come true.
Mhm.
Paano na yung past? Bago tayo mag-break, we talked about the
Tama.
past.
Oo,
Okay?
tama.
So, tinetesting ko lang siya. Paano? Bingo! Shout out to our producer, JJ Buencamino. So, paano na yung part na yun ng buhay mo? Iniwanan mo ba yon? Do you just drop it? Because your wife is still in the financial industry. And here you are in the film industry. So I'm pretty sure you're still bumping into people na ano yun? Do they get orphaned? Do they get passed around? Para nasan na ang mentor naming si Francis? Ayun, busy gumagawa ng pelikula.
I still reach out to people once in a while. In fact, I still help my wife build a team by training them, sharing the same insights I'm sharing with everyone tonight. So I'm still accessible to them. Majority of the, heavy lifting is done by my wife right now in the finance industry.
Yes.
So I have not totally, however, when you ask that question, I'm thinking more of,
Focus.
the mistakes I leave behind. The lessons I learned, I bring with me.
Yun. Pero ang focal point is now in film and not in finance.
Yes, because
You cannot do both, no?
it's a principle in the good book in the Bible that says, a farmer cannot look back. An athlete cannot be distracted. A soldier cannot be afraid of, And so you have to have a focus. You really need to have focus. I embrace the idea that, multitasking really is a myth. You can do it in small things, but when you're talking about building something world class, you cannot do a multitasking there. That's the reason why, producers. There are producers who, just focus on producing, directors focus on that. They do some of it eventually when they already have built themselves. But they don't do simultaneous everything when they're still starting. You have to build yourself first on one thing.
Grabe, dun pala pwede ko na tapusin tong episode na to. That's a very important nugget because actually, yung sinabi mong yun, just spoke to my heart big time because buti lang and shout out kay JJ Buencamino pati na rin sa manager namin si Joseph Bayan because for the longest time I've been juggling the day-to-day of Intro Voice and then Paco's Place and all that stuff, pero this guy, yung producer natin si JJ, actually said I'm gonna help out with the Intro Voice stuff and so it frees my hands from multitasking, di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi ang hirap.
Yeah, and you have a family, you have kids.
Yun pa, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang ganun yun. So, thanks to you, I'm just gonna focus on one kid and forget the rest. Mahirap eh. Mahirap.
Buti one kid.
Sabi ng apat ko nga, 5 yun eh. Sabi ng apat, daddy, ano nangyari? Sabi kasi ng Tito Francis nyo, focus lang sa isa. Huwag dead joke. Now, let's talk Inspire. Ito na. How many movies are you doing?
Currently, I'm working on 4.
Akala ko ba wag multitask?
Yes, correct. But it's all filmmaking. It's all producing.
Okay. Explain the 4 movies that you're doing.
Yes, so all 4 of them are based on true stories, and all 4 of them talk about the joint heroism of Americans and Filipinos. All 4 of them happened in the Philippines. So the first one,
Time out. Bakit puro, and I asked this to you nung nagdi-dinner tayo, so ulitin ko lang for them. So parang scripted, no? So bakit puro Filipinos?
Believe it or not, when I was listening in church last Sunday and I was thinking about our time here, I got the word.
Share.
Filipinos have always been underdogs. Believe it or not. It's not because we are not talented. It's not because we are not sacrificing enough. It's because we don't assert enough. And that's why all this time, history, except when Lapu-Lapu killed Magellan, after that time, we pretty much existed as underdogs. Kahit dito sa America, all over the world. I came across an article that was written a few years ago, and it says in America, the most marginalized people group are not the blacks, it's the Filipinos. Believe it or not. It was written by a psychologist.
Wow. Kasi tayo eh, sige okay na lang yan.
Yeah, that's it. We're happy with just having enough food on the table and having a great job. We're already happy with that, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you want to make a difference, you want to make an impact, you cannot stop there.
Hindi pwede ang pwede na.
Give credit to who credit is due.
Right.
If you're a classic example is the movie The Great Raid. I was told by Cesar Montano, and one time he's being interviewed in radio about the movie, right? He's about to go out and he was being interviewed, and all of a sudden there was a caller who called in, and the caller asked him, Cesar, do you know why there were more Filipinos who died during the raid of Cabanatuan and less Americans? And he said, hindi ko po alam. Sabi niya, do you know who I am? Sabi niya, hindi ko po alam. And I forgot the real name of the guy, but he's the guerrilla commander who led the Filipino forces into the camp.
Dang.
Kaya sabi niya, maraming Pilipino namatay kasi the first one to enter the camp were not the Americans. It was the Filipinos. That's why more of us died. But then the movie is showing that there were more
Americans.
It was the Americans who went into the camp and the Filipinos were outside the camp. Now, I was thinking about that and I said, that's what happens when no one steps up to tell our own story. I mean, are we trying to get something that's not ours? No. Because based on those guys' records and the books, it was the Filipinos who did that. And so it's just give credit to whom credit is due.
Galing, Francis. Alam mo ba, si Jokoy pinanood namin SAP Arena sa San Jose. Mga ano ba yan? 30,000 people, mga ganun, no? Last part ng ano niya. Naalala kita sa kanya, the way you're talking. Because siya, inassert niya na ang Netflix special niya will be shot in the Philippines featuring all Filipinos, and si Steven Spielberg is actually filming a movie all Filipinos.
Yeah. Easter Sunday is the name of the movie, and it's coming out April next year.
Galing, no?
Yeah. Manny Pacquiao did it, Lea Salonga did it, and many other, athletes did it.
But then again, you remind me more of Jokoy's mindset, because si Manny at si Lea, they did it knowing full well, I will assimilate with I will assimilate with all these people. Ikaw hindi. I want to champion the Pinoy. Yun, tama ba ako o mali? Yun ang...
Yeah. What I'm working on here is really changing how we as Filipinos think. Because...
Or viewed. Ano ba?
First, it has to start with us. Because people's view of you will start changing if you yourself start changing how you see yourself.
Okay.
Kasi ang nangyayari is, we have individuals who are excelling. But as a people, as a culture, we have gone astray. We are no longer thinking. We are no longer thinking like Americans. When they go somewhere, what do they think? They'll be second to someone else? No. The Chinese, when they go somewhere else, second to someone else? No. They go and think, we're Americans, we're Chinese. We should be the best ones. I don't think as a culture, as a people, we are still at that. I think we were back then. But because of all the political problems that we have, all the poverty, colonialization, and all those things happening, we have kind of lost that kind of national identity. So my dream really in doing all these things, why do I want to inspire the world with the greatness and the goodness of the Filipinos? Because first and foremost, it's there. And secondly, by doing so, I'm praying that we can change the future generations of Filipinos. That wherever you go, you are so proud. Not arrogant, but proud that you have a very special background, a special race, just like everyone else, that you're not second to anyone. We can talk all night about that, but
that's what we're doing.
That's what I wanted for us there. If you're a Filipino, never think that you're second best to anyone. You're not. You just did not have the access. You just did not have the opportunity. But guess what? You can change that. Sabi nga ni Nelson Mandela, you could be born poor and it's not your fault, but if you die poor, it's totally your fault.
Totoo yun.
And my dream is we become mainstream. Inspire Studios lead the way that the Filipino stories of heroism, honor, and hope will be so mainstream in Hollywood that it will become mainstream around the world. Not just to lift up, one particular culture, our culture, that's part of it, but in the long run, create better generations of people, not just Filipinos, but all people. Because again, you're created for something better. Never settle for anything less. You're special. Everyone. Yung ating touch. If I touch you like this, Paco, and someone works on a microscope, they can see my DNA there already in you.
Right.
Meron na akong iniwan dyan. I left something in you. We were destined. We were designed to make an impact, to make a difference.
Natakot ako bigla. Baka mamaya ang dami magpa-DNA test. Hindi ng DNA ko sa...
Actually, that was scientifically research.
Pero you know what? Alam mo, I am rooting for you. I am rooting for what Inspire Studios can do. And I'll if I may add to it, can you please make it a burden of yours to address the elephant in the room, which is crab mentality. Because you're right. We are not second to anybody. However, the sad part is we want to be ahead of our own kind. Alam mo yun, tinatapakan natin ang sarili ang kapwa Pilipino natin only to be second to another. Di ba? Parang kapal na mukha natin to. And I'm sinasama ko sarili ko to that part. We should lift our brethren, our Filipino brethren, and together, hindi nga magyabang, but just to take ownership and pride of who we are as a people. Maybe through Inspire Studios, we could create that kind of awareness. Huwag na natin antayin may mamartyr pa na Pilipino before you make a true story, because the pattern that I see, they're all true stories.
Yeah.
But at some point, please write something that will inspire. Do your own Uncle Tom's Cabin book without having to adapt a book into a screenplay, but write from the ground up about.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a Filipino screenwriter, di ba?
Yeah. Yan yung ano natin, that's, part of my goal is not just to make our stories mainstream, but also, bring along Filipino filmmakers to a level where they will be playing in the big leagues. I mean, we have the talent. We have the capacity. I certainly believe we have the money. But why do we not spend so much money in building quality movies? Well, for me, I don't want to judge anyone. For me, it's a matter of what's your mission? What's your vision? Are you just about making money, or are you about making an impact? Because if you want to make an impact, you cannot cheapen your way there. Quality does not come with, less resources. Some people say I can do something quality with less. That's probably an exception than the rule. But until now, we don't have quality Filipino movies that have made the impact like the way the Korean movies are making an impact, the way Chinese movies are making an impact. But look at the kind of budget they're putting in. I mean, not all of them, but quite a lot of them are putting a lot of money in order to make an impact. And for me, that's a mindset that needs to change. Hindi pwede yung pwede na yan.
Hindi pwede na, di ba?
Oh, pwede na yan. Well, if you're thinking of just this, then okay. Pero if you're thinking of the bigger world, then hindi pwede. You really have to play at their level. And so that's why, people are looking at me, say, wow, you're this is the first time and that's your budget? And in my mind, I know that they thinking you must be crazy. I don't read their mind, but they're probably thinking that way. But in my mind too,
habang kinakain ko yung calamari, yun din na sinasabi ko eh.
It's in my mind. In my mind too, I'm answering them. Yeah, crazy people rule the world.
Howard Hughes.
That's why when Elon Musk was asked, we cannot do that. We cannot reuse the rockets.
Di ba sabi nga sa Soviet Union, anong bibilin mo? Anong gagawin mo dyan? Kaya di ba sabi mo, sige, sabi ng Russia, kunin mo na yan. Tinatawanan siya.
Yes. So, I think the crab mentality that you're talking about, it's actually not unique to Filipinos.
Sa tingin mo?
A lot of cultures have that too.
Pero feel ko prevalent. Ba't prevalent sa atin? If it's not unique to us, why do I see it more from us and not from others?
A part of it is because we probably are not, looking seriously in other cultures. We are so. Part of the reason why we're not making a huge impact in the world is we're focused on looking inside as a culture. What we see inside.
Sa pulkaron. Alam mo, tama ka.
We're not looking from the outside. Okay?
Tama ka ron.
And so That's probably the reason why we always see it amongst us. But if you study other people, I've been to 50 countries around the world. And I've been in America for a long time. I live in China for 4 years. It's not unique to us. It's human nature that, we're not happy when someone is succeeding. So we kind of pull them down with us because, we feel bad that they are able to do something that we cannot do. So it's really human nature. Naha-highlight lang sa Filipino culture because we love to talk about us instead of looking at solutions. We talk about the problems.
Right.
And so because of that, naha-highlight yon. But the way to deal with us in my own life is basically realizing that, again, I might sound like a broken record here, but you are special. You have your own purpose. And so if someone is winning, and my wife just told me this the other day, she said, our time will come. So instead of her griping or like complaining, how come da, she said, it's okay. Our time will come. We just keep on, grow, excel. Our time will come. So that's the antidote to
crab mentality.
To crab mentality, recognizing that you are special, that you're a special purpose, and your moment in time is coming. You just have to press on towards that. Don't focus on someone else. Focus on you. Don't compare yourself with someone else. Compare you to yourself. Who are you yesterday? Are you a better person today?
You guys say, keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Keep growing. And then don't focus on what other people learn from them, so you become better.
Right.
But don't pull them down. Don't talk bad about them.
Ano naman ang bago natin i-landing? Ano naman ang mission statement ng Inspire Studios?
Inspire Studios really came about because we would like to inspire the world with epic true stories of heroism, honor, and hope. Tatlong H yan. Okay? Yan yun. Every movie that we make would have that component.
Heroism, honor, hope.
Hope. But we base it not on fantasies. That's why you will not see Inspire Studios making fantasy movies. We're all about true stories, because what inspires people is when they know that this is a real person. This is a real experience.
This person really existed.
Yes.
This situation really happened.
Na-inspire ka ba ni Superman?
Oo
I don't get inspired by Superman. Why? Because I know he never existed.
Pero yung character could be inspiring. Para si Forrest Gump did not exist. Kaya sayo, based on a true story, could be a compromise. Kaya tinanong ko, what's the mission statement? Because now I know. Now you'll have to create another company para hindi
Inspire Studios yun. Yeah, because Inspire Studios
may specific. And that's nice because and
that's our branding. That's our sandbags.
And not only that, we have the 3H, the vision, the mission. Pero this is you. It's a reflection of you. I mean, if pag nirewind nyo tong episode na to, kung paano namin sinet up yung first questions ko sa'yo, up to the mission of Inspire Studios, it's really a reflection of, it's your baby.
Yes.
So now what's your advice to people who are on the fence, scared, 50-50 about taking a risk? Kahit mga Pilipinong may blue passport na ugaling takot pa rin. Marami akong kilalang gano'n. What's your advice to these people who do not want to claim what could be their opportunity?
Yeah. Well, it starts first and foremost in realizing that you are created for a destiny. You have a special purpose. You are not an accident. That you were created for something bigger and higher and nobler. Never settle for anything less than that. So, dyan nag-umpisa, it starts with that. And secondly, keep growing. The Francis Ho that you meet now is not the same Francis Ho that you met 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You have to keep growing because the opportunities of greatness, of impact, and those things is proportionate to your own growth. If you're growing as a person in a huge way, the opportunities that will come to you are also bigger and greater. That's why it's a biblical principle. If you're trusted with something small,
Parable of the
yes.
talents. Yeah.
If you're, trustworthy with something small, you'll be trustworthy with something, bigger. And so you keep growing, you keep become better. And third is connect with people who will help you fulfill your dreams. You have to be selective of who you listen to. Don't listen to yourself. Talk to yourself. It sounds like nasisiraan ka, but here it is. You don't listen to your mind. Rather, talk to your mind. Listen to people who have succeeded. Read books, watch movies, interact with people who has done it, and who commands respect. Sabi nga nila, if you hang out with 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th one. If you hang out with 4 wise people, you'll be the 5th one. So whoever you hang out with will also determine if you're gonna win or not win in life. Ultimately, it's you, but then there are factors that could affect you pretty big time. Lastly, now some people may not, but I grew up in a family where God is not part of the equation.
Whoa.
I grew up a CEO Christian. Christmas, Easter only. Right? Outside that, we don't deal anything with God. But I tell you who I am now and what will be in the future. And I'm telling this all the time to my kids. I told them, you are so blessed that you grew up learning about the goodness of God, the greatness of God, because how I wish I grew up with that. But for you right there or listening, I told you earlier, on your own, you could probably still succeed, but it's a whole lot sweeter if you're walking with God, walking with Christ. So, yun lang. 2 cents.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Francis Lara Ho. Thank you. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Galing. Grabe.